Hi, today I'm going to talk about a very, very strange synchronicity experience that I had on, it was 45 grams of dried truffles, which is about the same as, I'd say about 3.5 grams of cubensis of magic mushrooms. So very, very similar. It's still the same active ingredient, psilocybin, but they're just different forms of taking it, basically. So to start the story, we have to go back all the way to when I was at college, which is several years ago now. And so I've always been massively into music. I love music. I play a lot of music. I make a lot of music, and it's me. It's like, you could say it's my path if you want to say that. So I was at college. And I never really enjoyed classical music. I was always more into rock music, and mainly rock music, really. Like, wasn't really listening to much else. I was had quite a narrow sort of listening going on back then. And I was studying like A-level music, which is very sort of classical orientated, and I never really enjoyed it because I thought all the pieces were kind of boring and meaningless and quite emotionally sort of shallow, and they didn't really hit you very much. And then there was this concert that we were invited to go to as part of studying A-level music. And I sort of didn't really want to go, but everyone else was going, and it was kind of recommended that you did go. So I thought, okay, I've got to go. I was kind of very reclusive back at college, and I didn't really have many people that I was close with, so I kind of didn't want to be seen as being on my own too much. So it was I was very hesitant about going, definitely. So I decided I would go. As with any classical concert, you know exactly what pieces you're going to listen to before you go into the concert. So I remember having a little listen through them. There was three, I think, like they're big pieces. They're like 20 minutes, 30 minutes each. So very, very big pieces. And so I listened to all of them, just sort of very passive listening, you could say, not really focusing in on the music at all. And then there was this one piece that I kind of thought, oh, that's all right, quite like that, and I didn't think much of it. And then it came around to the time of the concert, and that piece came on again. I was like, wow, I actually quite like this. This is quite good. Maybe classical music isn't so bad after all. And so that was kind of a turning point in my mindset of, maybe like I can see how someone would enjoy this, but there's still so much of it that's just very, like, as I said, very disconnected emotionally. And obviously now I know that's not the case at all. I love classical music now. But so I was then at university finding new shows to watch on Netflix and just various other websites of where you can watch different shows. So I was a massive fan of Black Mirror, which you probably have heard of. And there was this program that was apparently a bit like Black Mirror called Inside Number 9. It's kind of like, it's made in the UK. It's very, very different, but it does have its similarities to Black Mirror. So there's this one episode where no one speaks in it, so it's a completely silent episode. Through the episode, there is this piece playing again. I thought, oh, I really like that. That's quite cool. Quite enjoy that piece of music. And so I Shazammed it with the little app, and it came up, and I was like, wow, I recognise this. This is very, very strange. Like, this is the piece that I've been to see in college, like a few years ago now, ages ago, but I never really listened to it again. And here it was, and I was like, whoa, this piece is, like, it fits so well with what the episode was trying to convey. It really just, like, worked into it seamlessly. And then there it was, and it's kind of staring me in the face, like, very, very strange. And I didn't think much of it then. I didn't think it was like anything too weird then. I just thought, oh, that's cool. It's like popped up again. And I started listening to it again and again and again. I thought, wow, I really, really like this. This is like an amazing piece of music. This is something that's like as good as all the rock stuff I was listening to then. And then I decided to make a playlist, like a classical playlist. I had loads of other Spotify playlists with all these songs in very like genre specific. And then over the years of having this playlist, it grew into something that was very big in the end. It's sitting at like 11 hours and 18 minutes of music. My taste was just expanding, and I was learning a lot more about how to listen to classical music and how to experience it and how to feel it and what to listen out for. And obviously music kind of grows you as well, and it was growing me into this person and just expanding my musical knowledge, and just really beneficial to me. I really like classical music now. I've definitely fallen in love with it. And probably about 2 years ago now, I had this mushroom experience with 45 grams of dried truffles, and it was quite a bit. It was obviously the most I'd ever taken, and I've experienced like a time stopping before, but this dose was time stopped. If you've ever had time stop on mushrooms, you know it's like quite an intense experience, and you get stuck. It's this very weird feeling of being stuck, being trapped, and there's kind of this closed kind of feeling to it. Can be quite negative. So I was kind of I was on the toilet at this point, just like, because you kind of do end up getting stuck there because you need a wee, and then you kind of get the anxiety that you can't really you're not safe, you're not able enough to take the journey back to your bedroom or whatever. So I was stuck on the toilet with the time stopped in this just thinking. You know how your brain works on magic mushrooms, and just thoughts going everywhere, a very fluid thought pattern. And it was all about like anxiety and like working through some stuff, but like, why am I so afraid of like, other people and things like that? Why am I so afraid of aspects of myself? And I need to like put myself out there, or the obvious stuff that everyone knows, but obviously on mushrooms it's a lot more close to home. It really hits hard. As I was in there for hours and hours, just in this like loop of no time, just stuck there. For what feels like forever. You don't think you're going to come back, and you always do, which is always the most blissful thing about it, is you always come back. But so you think you're stuck, and then very, very quickly, I don't know if anyone else has this with magic mushrooms, but for me, in the sort of medium doses, it comes off very, very suddenly. It's like someone's been pushing down on you, and then very suddenly they just lift your hands, and then you're out of time, starts moving again. You're like, whoa, this kind of makes sense. I think I'm ready for like reality now. I think I can sort of ease my way back into it. And obviously you're still seeing all like the visuals and stuff, but the peak of the trip is kind of, or at least the worst part of the trip is over, and then that's when you get the peak, is when you're out of it, and then you just get that high and that rush of love, and you're ready to like go back into reality and just be a better person, all that stuff. So I had that, and so I was on the toilet, and like it all started working again. I was like, oh my God, we're back. I'm here. I remember myself. I remember what I'm here for. Like I had the euphoria, obviously, and I was feeling great. So I decided to walk downstairs, because I've been meaning to do that for what feels like an eternity. So I start walking downstairs, and I'm like, yes, this is going to be great. I'm going to get back into my bedroom, which feels so nice, and it's kind of a lot more homely and loving than my bathroom. I come back into the bedroom, and there's this set of headphones. Prior to the trip, I put on some classical music. I put it on shuffle play. My playlist is like 11 hours. Put it on shuffle play. So yeah, just listen to some of that. I very, very rarely take my headphones off and leave my music playing, which is very, very strange. So the music was still left playing when I came back down, which is very, very unusual for me, because I always pause it. I don't like missing music. I don't like coming back into a song like halfway through at all. Maybe it was just the mushrooms. Maybe I was like, had other stuff on my mind. I don't know. But it was just very weird. So I come back and there's music still playing, and I'm like, oh, I recognize that. And you know when you hear music outside your headphones and you can kind of just about make it out, and you think, oh, I recognize that, but maybe I can't, I don't know exactly what the song is or anything. So I put on these headphones, and they're like, I think they were Beats headphones back at the time, broken now, but so I put these headphones on, and the closer they get, the more I realize what the piece of music is. And then I put them on, and obviously like it's in sync with the kind of peak, and that euphoria is like building. I come downstairs and it's all getting more perfect again, and the headphones go on just as the euphoria peaks, and it's so in sync. It's like, oh, it's magical. And the piece was the first piece of music that ever got me into classical music. It was the same piece that I've discovered on Inside Number 9. It was the same piece that I listened to at college, and it was just there to like confirm what I was meant to do, like, and just it just had me speechless, and I was just had the widest smile. I was looking into the mirror, and you know that's weird on psychedelics as well, but I was looking into the mirror and just smiling back at myself, and the wider I smiled back, and I was just crying, like all these tears came streaming down my face. Like, it was a very, very intense experience, but so incredibly blissful. And I didn't realize how weird it was until it was kind of over, and I was like, hang on, that was so strange. How does that work? And it wasn't like just a synchronicity. This is the kind of synchronicity that like confirms my path and like secures me and tells me that I'm doing right. It's like almost as if the mushroom's like, oh, like, here, I know you enjoy music, just listen to this while you're like on the peak. And then like it's just, yeah, it was a really, really amazing experience. The weirdest thing as well is so just now, when I was deciding to make this video, I thought, oh, I'm going to put it into like a time calculator and just calculate the chance of this piece coming up in a playlist on shuffle. Because obviously I know it's a very, very small chance that it was coming up at this particular time, which is a very, very specific time. It's probably like a 5-minute window of that peak when it's like very, very intense, and then it dips down after that. So I put it into a time calculator, and there's a 1.67 chance of it happening, so less than 2%. And it also was it was at the climax of the piece, so it wasn't just like I put the headphones on and thought, oh, it's this piece, I'll listen to it from start to finish. I put the headphones on, it was like, oh, it's the climax, like it's the bit that's like a big hug, it's like love. And also, when I was putting the two values into the time calculator, the playlist length and the track length, I realized they're both the same, which is, I don't know, that's very, very weird. So the playlist length at the moment is 11 hours and 18 minutes, and then the track length is 11 minutes and 18 seconds. Make of that what you will. I don't know what I think about that. I don't know what I think about synchronicities in general, but you cannot deny that something very, very weird has happened there. So yeah, I think that's everything. I think that just about sums it up. If you have any synchronicity experiences yourself that you want to share, please do. I'd love to hear about them. I find it very, very weird. Thank you for listening. Bye.